I call Chris Hipkins.
Thank you very much, Mr Chair. Happy to take a call on this bill, and I want to start with, I intend to speak on clauses 9 through to 22, starting with clause 9, and in particular the reference made to the Local Electoral Act and the Local Government Act. And clause 9.2 says this section applies no matter what the Local Electoral Act 2001 or the Local Government Act 2002 may say. And it's not that long ago that we had national members railing in this House against any change to electoral laws without bipartisan support. But it appears that only applies at the national level. And local government, they can do whatever they like. And if they don't like the decisions being made by local authorities, then they are just going to ride roughshod over the electoral laws that govern those local authorities and do whatever they like. So clause number 9.2 overrides the Local Electoral Act, and it does not have bipartisan support. At least two parties in this Parliament have spoken very strongly against it. And yet nobody from the National Party is willing to stand up and say why they think the democratic rights of people with regard to their local authorities should receive a lesser amount of importance and attention than their democratic rights to elect their nationwide government. It creates two tiers of government in New Zealand, one being clearly subordinate to the other. It says that once a nationwide government is elected, then the nationwide government can completely override the democratically elected local authorities. We've seen this twice in this House under this national government already. We saw it with the Auckland Super City, where under urgency they effectively sacked all of the Auckland local authorities and replaced them with the Auckland Transition Agency under urgency, all stages, straight through, under urgency, no chance for the public to have a say, no chance for the people whose roles were affected by that decision to have a say, and that's exactly what we are seeing here now, because the government, through clause number 9.2 in particular, are completely overriding a local electoral law and installing a new regime that will be totally and utterly controlled by them. Democracy at a local government level in Canterbury with regard to what was previously ECAN is now dead. There is no democracy there. It will be ultimately controlled by the ministers. And I want to then move to clause 13. The responsible ministers at any time may amend the terms of reference for the commissioners at any time. At any time the minister decides, we want to do something a bit different, we're not happy, could be gone by lunchtime. The terms of reference could be gone by lunchtime. They could decide we're not happy with what the commissioners are doing, we're just going to completely change their terms of reference. And then, of course, if they're not happy with what the commissioners then do with their changed terms of reference, under clause 17, they are entitled to simply remove them. They can simply sack the commissioners, no problem whatsoever. If they are dissatisfied with what the commissioners are doing, the government, the ministers, have ultimate control over what goes on in what was formerly ECAN. This gives the government ultimate control. There will be no consultation. Ministers can do whatever they like without any reference to the local authority. Local people will have no say. They had an opportunity to elect a council. It is being removed by this government, with the local people having no chance to have a say. And in fact, if the local people were dissatisfied with what ECAN have been doing, there is a local election coming up this year, and they could have replaced that council if the local people were dissatisfied. That is the nature of democracy. But that democratic opportunity is being removed by this bill. The local people will not get to have a chance to have a say on whether they think ECAN is effective or ineffective. They will not get any opportunity to vote them in or out. That right is being removed for at least 3.5 years. It will be at least 3.5 years before people get a chance to pass judgment on what this government is doing by removing their democratically elected local authority members. The other thing that this bill does, clause number 18, is it gives the ministers the ultimate responsibility for establishing what these commissioners will be paid. The remuneration authority, which sets MP salaries, that sets the salaries of the local authorities, will have no role in that. It will be ultimately up to the ministers. So the ministers appoint the commissioners. They determine their terms of reference. They determine what they are going to be paid. Ministers will have ultimate control over everything that the commissioners do. Environment Canterbury, democracy is dead.
Dr. Russell Norman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm speaking on part 2 of this bill, which is the guts of the bill around the